last segment finishing up the show today. Andrew Goldstein, Zach Weiss, and Colston Cooper here with you in the WPPJ studio. Now joining us, head coach of the Point Park women's basketball team, Tony Grenek. Tony, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on.
No problem. Thanks for having me, guys. It's always a pleasure.
This might be the first time in 2 years you've not come on right before a Pirate comes on. So.
That's right. That's right.
Yes, but before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's talk about the poll question, which I kind of alerted you to last night on the ride home, which is, do you think that Pitt men's basketball, now ranked 16th, is for real?
You know what? Defensively, I do think they are for real, and a lot of it depends on if they're shooting the ball well or not. I still have some doubts at times when shooting the ball, but you know, you could say that about any team, really. I mean, if you're going to play great defense, you'll always be in the game. However, a lot of times, especially tournament time, you need to shoot the ball well. And do they have enough shooting right now? I'm still up in the air about that.
As a follow-up, do you think that your team watched a little bit too much of the Pitt Panthers at the free throw line based on their performance last night?
Well, it's funny that you say that, because on all honesty, we are very similar to the way the Pitt men play, in that, you know, we defend. We might play a little bit more zone than the Pitt men do, but you know, but it gets ugly sometimes on offense for us. We're very spurty, I guess, you know, to put it lightly. You know, we'll make some 20, you know, we'll score 20 points, and then we might not score for 5 minutes. So you know, I see a lot of similarities in that, even at the foul line.
Regardless, I think you came in here with kind of a defensive mindset. You're a defensive type of coach. But this year, the offense has seemed to improve quite a bit from last year. You're scoring more in the 60s, 70s, and 80s than you did a year ago. Could you talk a little bit about the development that your team's offense has gone through?
Really, the one thing that I've noticed over the past couple of years, you know, a lot of people might say that, you know, a lot of defensive teams even slow it up on offense, but if you look at the average of shots taken per game, we're pretty much taking close to 70 shots per game. I think it might be at 68, and a lot of times our opponents are only getting, you know, in the low 50s, high 50s shots per game. So it's not like we're coming down and slowing it up and, you know, running a methodical offense. It's just that, you know, we're really not consistent offensively, but our defense always seems to be there. And, you know, I think our higher scoring totals this year all depends on the course of the game. And you know, I'd like to use the first game of the year as an example. When we played Wilberforce, I didn't expect Wilberforce to be as good as they are this year, and they were very explosive offensively, so we really had to try to keep pace with them, get up and down the floor with them, and I think it resulted in both teams scoring in the 80s. And so a lot of times, you know, and same thing with Asbury. When we went to Asbury, we scored 78 and they had 85 or 86. You know, it wasn't the point that we weren't guarding anybody. We just had to play at a faster pace to keep up with them, because they were hitting their shots at the beginning of the game where we weren't.
Could you talk about your seniors at all, and what they've really, what the impact of them has been for you?
Oh, they just got it up day in and day out. You know, they are great leaders. They know their roles. You know, mentioning two that don't start, you look at Maeve Gallagher. Last night she gave us 24 minutes off the bench and does all the little things: rebounds, defends in the post, takes charges. You know, she's playing with a broken hand and she has a tear in her shoulder. She's going to need to get surgery on both. You got someone like Brittany Dunmeyer, who will come off the bench and is capable of getting you 10 to 15 points if the other team's in a 2-3 zone, because she's such a great shooter, but she knows her role. You know, the seniors, you know, of course, Emily Shartner, Mara McCaslin, and April Austin, you know, they keep all the younger kids in check, and they know what we're trying to accomplish and how bad they want to get to the Nationals, and they do a great job of just keeping us grounded and keeping us focused.
How big was it to get that win on senior day? Not only to get the win, but the way you got it.
on senior day we actually lost by one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. No.
I meant the...
way to remind him.
Yes, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
What I meant was the...
Damon game?
Damon game, yes.
Oh, it was a great night. It was a great atmosphere. You know, and to be honest with you, people... You talk about highs of the year and maybe some of the kids' careers, with April hitting the buzzer beater, raising $3,400 for cancer research, the gym being packed, and you know, you couldn't have scripted it any better. But just to prove to you on the type of season that teams go through, there's so many highs and so many lows. As high as we were after the Damon game, you know, you come back and the senior day we lose by one to a team that we should have beat, and you know, it brings you back down to earth. So, but in the course of a season, you have your highs and your lows, and we really, you know, it was definitely extreme. We were extremely high after Damon and extremely low after Berea.
I had seniors on the mind from what they got to do after the game.
Sure.
Of course, you know,
you look at the head of hair. His head of hair might not be a high of the game, that's for sure.
That's right.
It's back pretty fast, though.
Yeah, I got the nice compliment yesterday that I look like a criminal. So I don't know. I don't know if that's a compliment or, you know, derogatory remark, but that's what someone said to me yesterday.
Well, I don't know, but maybe the team should be criminals and steal a ranking spot the way that the Raiders have treated you guys.
Yeah, you know, and the heck of the thing is, I'm one of the Raiders, and you know, I put us in the top 20 every week because I look at, you know, just take Damon for example. Damon's beaten the 12th ranked team in the country by 6. You know, Mount Vernon Nazarene, who we beat twice, has beaten the like 5 ranked teams this year. And I just think it's unfair to our conference as a whole. Even if you don't want to give Point Park any love, I mean, Asbury's a very deserving team that is definitely in the top 32. In my opinion, and you know, it's just a shame. I have a conference call on Monday with all the Raiders again, and you know, we've pushed Point Park, we've pushed Asbury. I know Kevin Taylor, our SID, has made you know, several connections in trying to get our name out there, and why aren't we rated higher? But you know, after seeing it, I don't think it's done very fairly. But you know, we still control our own destiny, and we can win that tournament and get an automatic bid, hopefully.
Why do you think the KIAC has trouble? I know we were talking a little bit during the break when you first came in. Why the KIAC has trouble getting teams ranked up in the top 25 teams?
You know, I'm not really sure. I could be from the past, which I really don't know a whole lot about the past in KIAC. Obviously, Indiana Southeast is the 4-time defending champion, and I could be wrong on this, but those 4 times they've been to the national tournament, I don't believe they won a game. I think they've been knocked out in the first round each time. I can't say that for sure, but I'm pretty sure. Asbury, you know, they have 20 wins this year for the first time in school history, so they're kind of, you know, off the radar, and hopefully they're getting on some people's radar. So, you know, and us added to the conference, I thought would help, and same with Carlo, but, you know, there's just that stigma, I think, that the KIAC has in women's basketball, and, you know, we're trying to change that as much as possible, but it's been very difficult.
I know it's tough to look ahead. Obviously, there's one more KIAC regular season game in Carlo, and then obviously the finale against West Virginia Tech in Montgomery, West Virginia. But looking ahead a little bit to the conference tournament, obviously Carlo needs to get done to get that win so the seeding can be as high as best as possible. But just what do you look at in terms of teams such as an Asbury that has such a potent scorer in Trania Barbie, or an Alice Lloyd with the best player in the conference, perhaps an Ariel Nickel and Carla Booth, that 1-2 tandem, and in Southeast, as you said, the 4-time champs. Just what do you make of the quality of this conference come tournament time?
Oh, it's excellent, and that's what I keep telling everybody. You know, you're looking at, let's talk about IU Southeast real quick. First of all, you know, they've struggled this year, but they have beat a couple ranked teams and from other conferences, and, you know, they're getting to host the Final Four. If, you know, and right now they're in the 4th spot. It's not anything guaranteed yet, but, you know, if you have to go play IU Southeast in the tournament, that's a 4-time defending champ, on their own floor, regardless of their struggles. They're starting to get hot right now. I mean, they could beat anybody. In regards to Asbury, same thing. Asbury, when they're shooting the ball well, they are very tough to beat. They throw different defenses at you. And like you said, they got Trina Barbary, who can take over a game. She's an All-American type of player. And Alice Lloyd, same way, have a Division I transfer point guard and the best player in the conference and a post player that's an All-American. And their depth isn't that great, but I mean, those two kids can take over a game and easily put up 30, 35 points apiece.
Is there a certain matchup you're looking for or hoping for in the KIAC?
I play it out in my head and look at the different matchups. And to be honest with you, everybody gives us a challenge. I mean, including Carlo. I mean, that's going to be a heck of a game. I think Carlo has a really nice team. And, I would hate to have to play Carlo in the first round of the playoffs, because I honestly think they can go on the road and upset somebody. They've beaten Asbury and they've beaten Indiana Southeast. So they're more than capable of, being in that Final Four as well. So, it really doesn't matter, because I think every team presents a challenge to us.
And it's coming for the final question. How surprised were you last night at me?
I was very surprised. But no, you did a great job, and we love having you, and you're 2-0 right now on the bench.
What about the rapping?
The rapping, you might need a little bit. I don't know if you're going to get a con. I think you're.
Just a little?
Yeah, I think you're.
I was good with Ice Cube, though, right?
You were, but I don't know if you're going to get any record contract anytime soon.
I don't expect one. Maybe position on the bench after graduation. That'd be nice.
Yeah, there you go.
But I don't want to make a recruiting violation, so no comment on that part. But obviously, best of luck for Friday and Saturday. Even though I'll be there, I mean, obviously, best of luck for Friday and Saturday. It's a tough turnaround, a 4-hour-plus trip on Saturday, but we wish you the best, and thank you for coming on, as always.
No problem. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
And that wraps up this episode of A to Z Sports. Same time, same place, same station, etc. for next week. So for Andrew Goldstein, Colson Cooper, and obviously alongside me, Coach Tony Grenek, I'm Zachary Weiss signing off for now.